Hey everybody, let's celebrate the month of May by digging into the Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy musical, Maytime. Now in this movie, Jeanette MacDonald plays Marcia Mornay, a rising opera star under the tutelage of Nikolai Nazaroff, as played by John Barrymore. When she is presented to the court of Emperor Louis Napoleon, Nikolai convinces an important composer to write an opera for her. Later that night, Nikolai proposes to her, and she accepts out of gratitude. In her excitement, she is unable to sleep and takes a carriage ride. She stops at a tavern when the horse runs away, and she meets Paul Allison, Nelson Eddy, who is instantly smitten with her. She resists, but she still meets him a few more times. Even though she likes Paul, she decides to stay with Nikolai and breaks things off with Paul. However, they meet again a few years later when Nikolai brings her to New York to do an opera there. Now, originally, Maytime opened as a Broadway show on August 16th, 1917, with music by Sigmund Romberg and the book and lyrics provided by Rita Johnson Young. It would prove to be quite popular, with the second production running alongside the first. And apparently, it was the second longest running show of that decade. In 1923, it was made into a silent movie, keeping the story, although sadly this film no longer exists in its entirety, but at least 4 out of its 7 reels have survived and been restored apparently. It would come back again for the 1937 film, this time being planned as the third film for the then hot screen team of Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. However, for this film they would drop the story, although I kind of get the impression from what I've read that they kept a few elements of the original story, and dropped most of the score as well, with the exception of the song Will You Remember, as they tried to play the strengths of the two stars. Now, of the 8 movies that starred MacDonald and Eddy, this ended up being the third one I saw, following Rosemary and Naughty Marietta. 2, 1, 3? Sounds like I might have seen the Dudley Do-Right movie a little too much as I was growing up. Anyways, I had no idea going into this one what it would be like. I had some familiarity with the other two that I'd mentioned, as I had heard some of the music before and seen a few clips included in the That's Entertainment films. This one, never really heard of the music, and never really saw any clips. The closest I could claim was the song Will You Remember, being included in the musical biopic on composer Sigmund Romberg, Deep in My Heart, which I didn't care for after my first viewing. But that's a story for another time when I get around to that movie. Now, with Rosemary setting the bar quite high for the series, as far as my opinion of it, I found myself feeling disappointed with the Maytime for about the first hour or so, I think. Then I got to the Mayday section, which included the song Will You Remember, and my opinion changed completely. It was the only song retained from the original score, and it was the only one that needed to be, as far as I can say. I really enjoyed the song. It strongly evokes this feeling of spring for me now. And I enjoyed the rest of the movie after that, especially the finale, which was so wonderful it gives me chills every time I watch it. But make sure you have a good supply of Kleenex. With repeat viewings, this movie just gets better and better, even the whole first hour or so. Is the movie perfect? No, I will admit it does have some problems with sexism, although how much of that is inherent to the period that the movie is set in, I'm not sure. But this is still a wonderful movie, and one I highly recommend. Don't be bothered by the fact that it's an operetta, it's still a great movie, so try it if you get the chance. The movie is available on DVD from Warner Archive Collection and is about 2 hours and 11 minutes in length. Well, that's all I have to say on this one. Thanks for listening, everybody, and keep tuning in for more.